Once upon a time, this went wrong. Hero ready, feeling brave, chats his jump into cave. Sword looks sharp, brain looks gone, chat tight fast, we moved on. She had thoughts, they were nice, chat replaced them with bad advice. Heroes plan, heroes think, this one waits while chat debates. Milk or murder? Roll the dice, so no again. Why are we like this, friends? Strike a plan, any plan. Wait, no, not that one. Too late. Run. Dragon roars very loud, chat says flirt, hero bows. Ancient trap, skulls and fire, chat says dance, floor is lava. NPC warns don't do this, chat says bet, narrator quits. Chosen one, prophecy, no, this is crowdsourced stupidity. Roll the dice, make it count. Natural one, we blame sound. No control, no riggins, just fights, keyboards and poor disses us, it sets. I would like to remind everyone, this is permanent. Quest begins, common sense dies, history will not be kind. Welcome all, enjoy the show if this fails. You already know. Roll the dice, oh no again. Why are we like this, friends? Try a plan, any plan, wait, no, not that one, too late. Once upon a time, this went wrong. Hero ready, feeling brave, chats his jump into cave. Sword looks sharp, brain looks gone, chat tight fast, we moved on. She had thoughts, they were nice, chat replaced them with bad advice. Heroes plan, heroes think, this one waits while chat debates. Milk or murder? Roll the dice, so no again. Why are we like this, friends? Strike a plan, any plan, wait, no, not that one. Too late. Run. Dragon roars very loud, chat says flirt, hero bows. Ancient trap, skulls and fire, chat says dance, floor is lava. NPC warns don't do this, chat says bet, narrator quits. Chosen one, prophecy, no, this is crowdsourced stupidity. Roll the dice, make it count. Natural one, we blame sound. No control, no riggins, just fights, keyboards and poor disses us, it sets. I would like to remind everyone, this is permanent. quest begins. Common sense dies, history will not be kind. Welcome all, enjoy the show if this fails. You already know. Roll the dice, oh no again. Why are
Good afternoon, everyone. Hold on. There we go. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I know all of you. I know how this is gonna go. I've already been mentally prepared. Already went to the bathroom, so my bladder is empty. So, yeah. Hold on. Give me one sec. There we go. So, before I load in the text, it's hidden for now. I came up with... Why am I looking mad? Oh, pressed the wrong thingy. Okay, so before I start things off, I wrote a little or I wouldn't say guideline, that's a big thingy, but because there aren't really much rules except a few, kinda. So today we are gonna do something, you know, slightly unhinged depending on who's in chat, but in a kinda controlled, story-driven way. So what I decided is community is gonna decide what I say, how I act, whatever. I've chosen to go with regulars just to keep it a bit controlled, so if people are new, they're free to lurk to, you know, respond to what the regulars say in chat. If they want to join in, they can next time. You know, the more they hang out, the more I will consider their input. Also, this one is a test run, so depending on how people find this, we might create a completely new one. I will sit down with people. They can vote on what character I will create, their background story, if they're a mage, if they're like, you know, an elf, like rogue, whatever class, whatever. It'll be up to the community, or we can continue this one if people enjoy this, but I want to give people the opportunity to make their own character, and I'll just handle it. So yeah, of course within TOS, because I don't want to get banned. But other than that, there aren't much rules, so I will try to... how do I say this? Make sure that I pick from everyone, like, I'm not gonna follow just one person. We'll keep it fair. Why am I not surprised, Mama? Why am I not surprised? So... yeah, that's gonna be mainly it. What else? Is there something else that I needed to say? Oh, it's not fully story-driven, but hold on, I will show you. It's even easier. ChatGPT. There we go. So, we have... well, I've set it up. So, ChatGPT will narrate the story. They'll throw us in certain situations. So what will happen is there will be dice rolling. I have them here on my desk. There will be battles, but it'd be more focused on story. I don't know when ChatGPT is gonna throw us into a battle, or we can probably instigate one, you know. So there will be no free information, no skipped rolls, no forced actions, no stealth narration. So we are also locked down. There's no way... well, shouldn't be no way that I can ask ChatGPT for background story that I shouldn't have. So I want to keep it in the D&D vibe, kinda, even though it's a solo community run, but, you know, I still want to roll my dice. So we'll see how long ChatGPT remembers, because it does forget it from time to time. But yeah, this is it. So I will read the story. Because I don't know if it's very much readable. But yeah, so underneath the thingy, you see the stats that this character has. Not that it matters, but maybe it does. Who knows? I'm a noob, so we'll see. So, here we go. And I brought water, so I know I have a lot of reading to do, but hopefully I don't spit it out on my PC, depending on what will happen. But we'll see. Here we go. Rain drums against iron and leather as Kaelin Ironhart reaches the edge of Brindlewatch. Up close, the town looks tired. The palisade timbers are swollen with age and moisture, darkened with old repairs, tried and failed to look permanent. One section leans a little inward, like it's considering retirement. Someone has carved tally marks into posts in a post near the gate. They stop abruptly, as if whoever was counting decided they didn't want to know the final number. The two guards straighten when Kaelin approaches. Not aggressively, not welcoming either. The posture of people who have learned that problems often arrive shaped like travelers. Uh-oh. One of them, human, early 40s, beard doing its best to escape regulation, squints through the rain. Town opens, he says unnecessarily. If you're here to buy, sell, drink, or forget something, you're in luck. The other guard doesn't speak. She keeps her eyes on Kaelin's greatsword instead. Professional interest. Mild concern. Just outside the gate, the notice board sags under soaked parchment. Most of the notices are old enough to have given up on hope. One is fresh, pinned dead center. Clean paper, dark ink, no fraying yet. Inside the walls, smoke curls upward from several chimneys, but one plume is thicker than the rest. Not fire, not panic. More like frustration being burned for warmth. The guards wait. The roads wait. The notice board waits, quietly, judging anyone who pretends to not see it. Kaelin is here, alone, again. What does she do? Come on, chat, what does she do? It's up to you. Oh, I have to scroll a bit lower. Oh, that's the lowest it goes, okay. What is the first action that we take? Do we go into town, or do we go to the notice board, or do we say something to the guards, or... Forward with curiosity? Forward into the town, or forward to one of the guards? Or to the notice board? Because I need to prompt it correctly, because otherwise... The chaos, the bringer of chaos? Oh. You are gonna get me thrown in jail already. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna mix both. So, I will... Am I in this thingy? Hold on. I will walk to the notice board. And... We'll pick up the clean parchment thingy. Clean parchment. While saying out loud. Wow, Tattoo learned her spell. I'm the... to the guard? Okay, hold on. I will walk up to the guards. It's even better than I combine. I'll walk up to the guards and say out loud, I'm the bringer of chaos. Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. The rain does not pause for dramatic effect. It really should, but it doesn't. Kaelin steps closer to the gate, mud pulling at her boots like it wants a souvenir, and declares to the wet, tired world, I am the bringer of chaos. Silence follows. Not ominous silence, awkward silence. The bearded guard blinks once. Then again, he glances sideways at his fellow guard, as if checking whether this is a drill he forgot about. Right, he says slowly. Well, you're a bit early. Chaos usually rolls in after the second bell and the bad ale. The other guard exhales through her nose. Not quite a laugh, more like her sense of self-preservation filing a complaint. Is Chaos here to stab something, she asks, or is Chaos just announcing herself today? A drop of rain runs off Kaelin's armor and splashes onto the fresh notice behind her. Okay. Neither guard reaches for a weapon, thank God, but both shift their weight just a fraction. Inside the gate, somewhere in town, there's a sharp clang, followed by a voice shouting something that sounds suspiciously like blame. The guards wait for Kaelin's response. The town does too. Uh-oh. A sharp clang, followed by shouting. That cannot be good. That's either somebody like grabbing like a weapon or something, or, you know, God knows what. So, what do we do in this situation? I mean, we're not gonna stab anyone. That would be rude. Hey, Oracle. We just started. We are... Investigate with haste? You stick up your nose. Oh my god, Grimmy. What would you investigate, Ninja? The sound? Or the notice board? Because we need to make it past the guards or something, so I don't know. Well, I mean, we can... The sounds? Okay. We investigate... what or who caused the sound. This is probably gonna trigger something. Oh, yep. We have to roll. Okay. So, Kaelin's attention shifts inward, past the gate, towards the source of that sharp clang, and the irritated shout that followed. That counts as an investigative... Oh, man, reading. Investigation action with intent to gather information. Per the charter, the world freezes right here. Rain mid-drip, guards mid-breath. Somewhere inside Brindlewatch, frustration hangs in the air unresolved. Please roll the following, a d20. Investigation check, okay. Okay, so we're not adding anything. Okay, let's roll. What did I roll? Damn, I rolled a 6. This is not gonna be good. The die settles 6. The rain resumes. Kaelin peers past the gate, eyes narrowing as she tries to pin down the source of the noise. What she gets is fragments. Inside Brindlewatch, the sound clearly came from somewhere near the central stretch of town. But the buildings crowd together tightly. Wood, stone, canvas, awnings. Everything echoes when it's wet. And today, everything is very wet. She catches movement, not detail. A shape ducking out of sight, someone hauling something heavy. A cartwheel maybe. Or a door slammed harder than intended. The voice she heard earlier is gone now. Either the problem stopped, or whoever caused it decided silence was safer. What she can tell, this was not a scream, this was not a fight, and this was not an alarm, so good to know. More like a mistake, or frustration reaching the end of its patience. The bearded guard notices her look. If you're wondering, he says, that happens a lot lately. He does not elaborate. Not because he's hiding something, because elaborating usually costs extra. Oh, great. Do we have to bribe him? The gate remains open. The notice board remains damp and suspicious. The town offers several directions, none of them labeled. Kaelin stands just inside of the threshold of Brindlewatch. What does she do next? I mean, it wasn't a scream, it wasn't a fight, it was not an alarm. So... I don't know. Would it be... bribery? Would you... Are we gonna bribe him? I mean, he did say, like, it's something that happens a lot lately. So... Could be something interesting. Could be, you know... It's all up to you. Okay. So, Oracle, would you, like, bribe the guard to ask for more information, or do you want to, like, go in town and investigate? Because we have no point where it came from. Since you are, have experience with D&D, what would you do? Yeah, we need to get, like, some information, but... Because I feel if we go into town running around, we have no clue where it came from. I mean, we can find things, but... Okay. Oh, Grimmy. Okay, so... I mean, we can try to intimidate him for information. Well, we'll see. I go up to the bearded guard and offer... Would 2 gold be enough? I mean, it's just a town, right? I don't want to, like, oversell it. I have 25 gold, by the way. In my inventory. 5 silver? Okay. I'm a noob at this. I don't know if, like, how much, if gold is considered a lot. So, 5 silver for more information. And give him a serious look. Okay, here we go. Oh, persuasion. Fuck. Okay. Kaelin steps closer to the bearded guard, rain sliding off her armor as she produces 5 silver in her palm. Produces? Take them out, I mean. No flourish, no smile, just weight and intent. This is an interaction meant to gain information. For Charter, the roll pauses again. Okay, I have to roll a d20. I mean, we can do a persuasion one. Or intimidation, but it doesn't matter, because I suck at both anyway. Well, we're not getting any modifiers to it. Hey, creative, good to see you. $200? Oh, thank God that you were here. I would be spending my money like a crazy person. Okay, good. Let's see, how much did I roll? A 9. We'll do a persuasion. I don't want to intimidate yet. 9 for persuasion. Since we're trying to get information. Wow, tattoo learned to freaking write. Okay. Persuasion. Okay. I'm not good at rolling apparently, but that's okay. The coin rests in Kaelin's palm. 9 is what we throwed. The bearded guard looks at the silver, then at Kaelin's face, then back at the silver. Uh-oh, this is not going good. As if hoping it might multiply if he waits long enough. Damn it. It does not. He sighs and reaches out, taking the coins with the careful dignity of a man who will absolutely deny this conversation later. Alright, he mutters. Ooh, we're going somewhere. Lowering his voice. but this is the cheap version. Oh, okay. He leans just enough that the rain can't reach his lips. Something's off in Brindlewatch. Not monsters, not a raid. Worse. He grimaces. People. The other guard rolls her eyes. She has heard the speech. A couple weeks back, he continues, folks started arguing more. Petty stuff. Missing tools, broken carts, doors found open that shouldn't be. Then came the noises. Bangs. Crashes. Shouting that goes nowhere. Ooh, this is a haunted town. He jerks his chin toward the thicker plume of the smoke Kaelin noticed earlier. Smitty's been the loudest lately. Hammer slips, metal cracks. Man's good at his work, but even good hands shake when sleep runs thin. He straightens, clearing his throat, business face back on. Town council says it's stress, weather, bad luck. His eyes flick to Kaelin's greatsword. Some of us think bad luck doesn't stack this neatly. From inside town, a bell rings once. Not an alarm, just time moving on without asking permission. The guards step back, giving Kaelin space to pass. The smithy lies ahead, smoke heavy in the rain. The notice board still waits behind her, that clean parchment soaking up water like it knows it'll be red eventually. The town proper stretches out, full of doors that don't quite want to stay shut. The bringer of chaos has options. What does Kaelin do? Scratch your butt hard and then stick your fingers under the guard's nose. Stating firmly, my credentials. Wow, Grimmy. So, what do? We have a couple options. So, now if to me, it seems like some way that like the town is maybe haunted or something is going on. So we can check out the smithy, we can go to the notice board, we can just, you know, go into town. I don't think we will get more information out of the guard, to be honest. And maybe we do, but I don't know if 2 silver is already... If he's already giving us crap for it, I don't know if he can pay more, if he will take it, but it's up to you. No. Nope. I mean, I can ask, remind me, is it night? Because I don't think it was stated. Remind me, is it night? It was just... see. It's not night, it's late afternoon, sliding toward evening. The sky is a solid sheet of rain, heavy grey, doing an excellent impression of dusk, but the sun hasn't officially given up yet. Lanterns are not lit, shops are still open, grudgingly. People are indoors more than usual, but the town is awake. You have time before true night falls, and whatever's making Brindlewatch uneasy clearly isn't waiting for dark. You mean the one parchment that is new? What they said was suspicious? I need to also write down the tips that Oracle gives. 2 gold equals $200, give or take. Okay. We'll head to the tavern then. We'll, I go inside, town and head towards the tavern. Kaelin passes through the gate and into Brindlewatch proper. The mud thins to packed earth and warped planks, slick but manageable. Buildings lean toward the street like they're sharing rumors. Most doors are closed. A few windows glow faintly with heart light. Shapes moving behind curtains that twitch when Kaelin walks by. People notice her. They always do. A half-orc woman with a greatsword doesn't blend in, no matter how polite she tries. Conversations pause. Someone pretends very hard to be interested in a barrel. A child is dragged indoors by the collar before curiosity turns into questions. Aw, poor kid. Then the smell hits her. Warm bread, wet wool, cheap ale, smoke that doesn't come from panic. The tavern announces itself before the sign does. A squat, broad building with a low roof and a hanging sign that reads, "The Cinder and Cup." The sign creaks in the rain, paint peeling, the cup on it cracked right down the middle. Someone has tried to fix it with a nail. It didn't work. Light spills from the windows. Laughter too, but it's a tired kind. The kind that needs help to keep going. This is where stories loosen, where problems get names, where people decide whether you're dangerous or useful. Kaelin reaches the tavern door. Inside, something clatters, not alarmingly, just a mug losing an argument with gravity. The door is warm beneath her hand. She stands at the threshold of noise, ale, and poor decisions. Does she enter, or does she do something before stepping inside? It's up to you guys. What do we do? I mean, if it's up to Grimmy, he's gonna kick the door in. 2 drinks to loosen some lips, but most would be there around dinner time or after work. Yeah. What time was it? Late afternoon? So technically it's after work, right? So, you know, could be some good people there. I think that might actually be a good way to get information. And just from, like, in any game whatsoever, the tavern keeper, whatever you want to call them, they know everything about the town. Okay, we'll go in. Okay, what do you think of this? I go in, and I buy... Let's hope that there are not that many people in there. And I buy everyone that's in there around of ale or whatever, or meat or whatever it's in there. Because I know I'm a half-orc woman, I'm gonna be scaring the shit out of people. So, would that be a good tactic, or just go up to the bar and sit down? Afternoon is about 12, so good time. Okay. Okay, hold on. We'll mix. And listen. Okay. Okay. I enter the tavern. And... sit down and... at the bar. I'm gonna sit... I'm gonna mash up. I'm mashing up. So, before I press it. So I'm saying, I enter the tavern and say, I wouldn't yell it, but like say, like, what is going on with this town? I'm gonna sit down at, that's the thing, should I sit down at the bar close to the tavern keeper? Or should I sit down at a table, like, in the corner so I can look at the people? Because if I sit at the bar, I might be able to get info from the keeper, but if I'm sitting in a corner, I can only, you know... I can overhear things, but I cannot, like, actively, or not yet. So, let me know, bar or just at a table. Because I have no idea how many people that are in the tavern yet, so. Hey, Maureen, welcome in. So we can like, or we can like start at the bar, order our lunch, and then see around how many people that there are, and then we can still sit closer to the bar, but not with the back to the exit. People talk to the one pouring drinks. Okay. Okay. We sit down at a table close to the bar, but not facing our back towards the exit. Here we go. The door opens with a damp, stubborn groan, like it's offended Kaelin didn't knock. Wow. Rude. Warmth rolls out to meet her. Smoke, ale, wet cloaks steaming quietly as they give up on dignity. The cindering cup is busy enough to feel alive, but not enough to feel happy about it. Conversations dip when Kaelin steps inside. Of course they do. Not stop, just lower, like the tavern collectively decided to mind its volume. She moves with intention, choosing a table close to the bar, chair angled so her back never quite forgets where the exit is. Old habits, good ones. The greatsword stays on her back, visible, honest. Then plainly to the room at large. What's going on with this town? Silence answers first. Then the tavern exhales. A mug clunks down behind the bar. The barkeep, a broad woman with iron grey hair pulled into a knot that's seen things, studies Kaelin the way one studies weather coming in sideways. That, she says, depends how long you're staying. A couple patrons snort, one laughs, and immediately regrets it. At the bar, a miner with hands like cracked stone mutters, if she's smart, not long. Someone else adds, too quickly, or long enough to fix it. The barkeep wipes a mug that's already clean. We're not cursed, she says. Not haunted. Not officially. She meets Kaelin's eyes, but things keep going wrong in ways that don't feel accidental. A chair scrapes. A man at the nearby table leans over, voice lowered. Stuff breaks. People snap. Doors open on their own. Tools go missing and turn up where they shouldn't be. He shrugs, like the town's forgetting how it's supposed to behave. Behind the bar, the barkeep finally asks the real question. And you? Her gaze flicks to the sword back to Kaelin's face. You here to drink, or to poke at things until they poke back? A serving girl sets a mug on Kaelin's table without being asked. Ale, on the house, or a test. The tavern watches her answer. What does Kaelin say or do? What the unofficial... Oh, what the rumor... Oh. Okay. But I'm like, what catches me is like how it says a serving girl sets a mug on Kaelin's table without being asked. Ale on the house or a test. So, you know. And the barkeep is the one who said, we are not cursed, not haunted, not officially. So I feel that she knows more. So how do we want to approach this? We gonna like take it slow and like ask the serving girl, or go up to the barkeep? Because we still need to order our lunch, but... If you wonder what the unofficial report is, like, who would you ask? Because I'm like, we can ask the miner, we can ask the entire tavern. But the girl, I mean, we can call her over, ask, like, order our lunch, and then like quietly ask. Yeah, that might be a good idea. Because otherwise we might God knows who's in there. I call over serving girl to order lunch and ask her quietly Wow. Spelled quietly wrong. Quietly. The unofficial report say. Oh. So I put in I haven't pressed enter. I call over the serving I didn't put girl behind it. Oh, tattoo. Okay. State misery loves company. A flagon of ale. Okay, I'll mix it. Hold on. Misery company. This is like a huge test for me to type properly. Flagon of ale. For an honest tale. So I mixed it with everything. So what I've typed is I call over the serving girl to order lunch and ask her quietly, what does the unofficial report say? Because we know those are always different. And then I went misery loves company, a flagon for a flagon of ale for an honest tale. So we'll see in how much trouble that we are gonna get ourselves into. Kaelin flags the serving girl over. Voice lowered, tone calm, but weighted with experience. Lunch ordered, ale promised, a fair trade offered without a grin. This is an interaction meant to gain information, and you're clearly leaning on charm and shared misery rather than threats. Okay, persuasion check. Oh, please let it be a better roll. Hey, 11. We're going up. We're going up. Went from 6 to 9 to 11. We'll see how it goes. The die says 11. That's not dazzling, but that's enough. The serving girl hesitates, eyes flicking toward the bar, then back to Kaelin. She sets the promised flagon down with a soft thump, fingers lingering on the handle like she's deciding whether to walk away or lean in. She leans in. Yes. Unofficial, she murmurs. Alright, but you didn't hear it from me. You heard it from the ale. Yeah, sure. She straightens just enough to look casual, then lowers her voice again. People say something's watching the town. Not like a beast, more like attention. Like when you realize someone's been standing behind you for a while and you don't know how long. She swallows. Things go wrong where people are already tired. Where people are already tired or angry. Like it's nudging them. Just a little. Tools slip, words come out sharper than intended. Fights almost happen more than they should. She nods toward the far end of the tavern. Old Merrick swears he heard his dead wife call his name from the street last night. Went outside, nobody there. He hasn't slept since. Ooh, this is turning into something. Her mouth twists. Council calls it stress, weather, coin shortages. She exhales. We call it waiting. She pulls back, picking up her tray. Smithy, storehouse, old well near the east fence. A pause. That's where things feel wrongest. Lunch arrives moments later. Hot, hearty, comfort food designed to keep people standing another day. Around Kaelin, the tavern noise resumes, carefully, pretending it wasn't listening. Outside, the rain keeps falling. Inside, Brindlewatch holds its breath. Kaelin Ironhart sits with ale, food, and a growing list of places where the town doesn't behave. The night is coming. What does she do next? Okay. So, apparently it is something that affects people when they're tired, when they're already angry. Apparently somebody heard his dead wife calling out his name. It was nothing. Curse or haunting, I want. Yeah. So we have a couple places. So we have the smithy, we have the storehouse, we have the old well near the east fence. And honestly, I do believe what she says. I don't think she's lying. The far end of the tavern. So old Merrick is also in the tavern. So that might also be a possibility. We can talk to him, or we can go, even though the night is coming, we can investigate one of those places, or we can take a room and wait till morning. I don't know. It's all up to you. Because apparently those whatever happens doesn't wait till night. Or maybe it's worse at night. We'll see. Like, honestly, if I think about it, it would be more like a curse, but it, yeah. Okay. We'll go... I get up and go to... Let's see that I write his name properly. Old Merrick's table. Sit down and offer him an ale. Yeah, I mean, would be dumb to skip it, right? Because God knows where he is tomorrow. Kaelin rises, lifts the fresh ale, and crosses the tavern toward old Merrick's table. The man looks like sleep has been a rumor told about other people. When she sets the ale down and takes a seat, his shoulder tense, then ease slightly. This is an interaction meant to gain information. Okay, so we can either... We're not gonna do an intimidation check. The poor bugger is already, you know... So, we'll see. Will we throw more than 11? Hopefully. Oh, damn. A 6. 6 persuasion. It doesn't... It's not gonna be doing much anyway, like, because we don't have modifiers for any of them, but... This might be a bad one. Old Merrick studies the mug for a long moment, then nudges it closer with 2 fingers, as if afraid it might vanish if he commits too hard. He takes a sip, winces, takes another anyway. Kind of you, he mutters, his voice is rough, worn thin. Don't mean I've got much worth trading for it. He rubs his face with both hands, dragging them down like he's trying to pull himself back together. I heard her, he says quietly, not looking at Kaelin. Clear as I ever did. Said my name the way she used to, when supper was ready, and I was late again. A weak, humorless breath escapes him. So went out like a fool. He glances up, eyes bloodshot, searching Kaelin's face for judgment. He doesn't find it. That seems to help. The street was empty. Rain just starting, no footprints, no sound, just that feeling, like I'd missed something important. He grips the mug harder. I don't think it was her, he adds quickly. I'm not saying ghosts, I know better. A pause. But something knew how to sound like her. From elsewhere in the tavern, someone laughs too loudly. The sound cuts off abruptly. Merrick swallows. Happened near the old well, he says. East fence. Nobody uses it anymore. Water went bad years back. He shakes his head. After that night, I won't go near it again. The ale does its quiet work. He relaxes a fraction, shoulders lowering like he set something heavy down. You're not from here, he says. That's good. Means maybe you won't get used to this. Outside, thunder mutters far away. Not a threat yet, just a reminder. Kaelin has a location, a pattern, and a town that's very tired of being watched. What does she do next? Break wind, laugh and say loudly, that was the ghost of yesterday's supper. Not for your ghostly. Oh, Grimmy. So, apparently we narrowed down the location, which is the old well. And that's also something that the girl mentioned, right? And he went there, what did he say? After that night, so you went there during the night. I don't know, I think it's like for a haunting. If it's like affecting more people, oh, I mean technically it could, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's some type of curse. So would we go check it out during night, or do we wait for the day and see what we can find and then come back at night second time, or... Yeah. I mean, to him it started after going to the well, to the old well at night, so... We can do it two things. Either we go now at night and see what it is and probably be getting ourselves in trouble, or we go to sleep and go check it out first in the morning, see what we can find, like pattern-wise, or like footprints, or God knows what, and then, well, when we get that information, come back the night, like tomorrow night, and see what will happen when we go at night. Depends how stealthy you all want to play. If you want to go for, you know, go in blind, or go in with knowledge. Oh, true. The blacksmith. Okay, so we'll just rent a room here, or ask if they have a room, and then sleep till the morning. Okay. That might actually be smart. Ooh. I get it. And ask the barkeep if there is a spare room in the tavern. I mean, do taverns have an... or is it like an inn? Oh, we'll see what she says. I can rent for the night before she charges us way more than it should. Kaelin rises from Merrick's table and returns to the bar, but boots thudding softly against the tavern wood. That's heard worse news than this. The barkeep looks up before Kaelin even speaks. Experience like that comes from years of people asking for shelter right before trouble decides to stretch its legs. Spare room? The barkeep repeats, already reaching under the bar for a ledger that's seen more lies than numbers. She flips a page, squints, then snorts. 1, she says. Small, clean enough, bat doesn't squeak unless you argue with it. A beat. Second floor, window faces the street, not the alley. I don't rent the alley facing ones anymore. Okay. Weird. She names the price reasonable, almost suspiciously so. You planning to stay quiet? She adds, fixing Kaelin with a level stare. Or are you the sort of guest that makes stories? Wow. Around them, the tavern noise rolls on. Dice clatter at a nearby table. Someone loses and pretends they meant to. The rain keeps tapping at the windows, like it's trying to get invited. Night is close now. Not here yet, but nearby. Kaelin Ironhart has a bed waiting, a town full of wrongness, and at least one place that doesn't want visitors after dark. Does she take the room, or do something else before the sun finally gives up? True. So we'll take the room, and we'll just, go to sleep, and then in the morning we head towards the blacksmith. Hold on. I say I'll take the room and can't promise I'll stay quiet. I take the key and go to the room. The barkeep snorts once, sharp and approving. Fair warning's fair, she says, sliding the key across the bar. Iron key, heavy. The kind that doesn't pretend to be decorative. Room's at the top of the stairs. If something breaks, make sure it deserved it. She pauses, then adds quieter. And if you don't come down in the morning, I'll assume you left town dramatically. Huh. Okay. The stairs creak under Kaelin's weight, each step announcing her presence like the tavern itself once witnesses. The noise of the common room dulls as she climbs, laughter thinning into murmurs, then into the steady hush of rain against wood. The room is small, practical, a narrow bed with a blanket folded tight, a wash basin that's seen better decades, one chair, a shuttered window looking out over the street, lantern light beginning to glow below as evening finally admits defeat. No alley, just road, mud, and movement. Kaelin closes the door. The lock clicks with a sound that feels final, even though it isn't. She sets her gear down within reach. The greatsword leans against the wall, close enough to argue back if needed. She can still hear the tavern below, muffled now, life continuing, pretending. Outside, Brindlewatch settles into night. Not sleep, just a careful stillness. Somewhere to the east, past fences and old stone, an unused well waits in the dark. Very good at listening. For now, Kaelin has a room, a key, and time enough to decide how quiet tonight is going to be. We'll hold here, at the edge of nightfall. When you're ready to act again, just say what Kaelin does next. Do we snore? I mean, we can. Do you want to put that in a certain reason? Why we would snore or why not? And also, question. Should we lock our door? Or like barricade it? Or before we decide to go to bed? I mean, technically we can just lock it because we have the key, but... Oh, Grimmy. Lock and barricade it? I mean, we have the chair, right? We can use the chair. Okay. I will lock the door. I'm gonna leave the key in the lock in case they have a spare master key. I've learned my lesson with that one. Lock the door and leave the key locked. And place a chair underneath. Barricade it before heading to bed. Okay. Oh. Ooh. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. We can fix this. Barricaded before checking for walls. You sword in hand. Hold on. Before checking false walls, while keeping my sword. Yeah, in case of traps. I didn't even think about it. True, because we only got this. They refused to give us other rooms. We'll see what it says. Kaelin locks the door, leaves the key in place, and wedges the chair under the knob with practiced efficiency. The room feels smaller immediately. Safer, maybe, or at least honest about its limitations. She keeps her greatsword in hand as she turns her attention to the walls, the corners, the seams where wood meets wood. Taverns are old hands at secrets, and spare rooms especially like to lie. This is a search for a hidden feature, so we need to roll. Investigation check. Come on, let it be a good one. 13, not bad. See, we're getting somewhere, guys. The room exhales. Kaelin runs her free hand along the walls, slow and deliberate. She taps where the wood sounds thin, presses where boards might flex, checks the floor seams near the bed, the window frame, the wash basin's backing. Nothing gives. No hollow knocks, no draft where one shouldn't exist, no hidden latch pretending to be decorative trim. If this room has secrets, they aren't architectural. What she does find is subtler. Scratches on the inside of the window shutter, old, made from the inside. Ooh. The bed has been moved before. Recently. Not for cleaning. The dust outline doesn't match the legs. The chair she used to barricade the door fits too well. Like it's been done before by someone who didn't trust the night either. The room isn't trapped. It's been used defensively. Outside, the lantern flickers. Footsteps pass, then stop, then continue. Normal enough. Almost. The tavern noise below fades as patrons drift towards bed or brave the rain home. The building settles, wood popping softly as it cools. Kaelin Ironhart stands in a secured room with a sword in hand, no false walls, and the creeping certainty that she is not the first person to prepare like this. Night has arrived. What does she do next? Tap the walls, listening for a hollow. There's no hollow sound, so no hollow knocks, no drafts, no hidden latch, nothing. So there are scratches from the inside, which is like... The bed has been moved before. I mean, yeah. Let's check under the bed. There might be something under the bed. Or they use the bed to, like, barricade the door. Could also be it, but yeah. I check under the bed and move it to see properly. Kaelin lowers her stance and reaches for the bed, intent clear. She's checking for anything hidden beneath it and moving it aside to be sure. Okay, another investigation check. 11. The bed scrapes softly as Kaelin shifts it aside. She crouches, sword angled low, and peers into the space the bed was guarding. Dust, old enough to settle, not old enough to be forgotten. No bodies, no monsters waiting to earn their legend, but something is there. Near the wall, pushed as far back as possible, sits a small bundle wrapped in oilcloth. Careful wrapping. Intentional. Someone didn't want whatever it is to get wet, or to be found quickly. She nudges it with the flat of her boot first. Nothing moves on its own. Inside the oilcloth, a child-sized wooden charm carved roughly into the shape of a cup, wreathed in flames, the tavern sign. Oh, okay. Same crack carved down the cup. Exact. A scrap of parchment, folded many times, ink smudged but legible. The note reads, "It listens through the old mouth. Do not answer if it knows your name." Oh. Oof. No signature, no explanation, just warning, left by someone who didn't trust the walls, the bed, or the night. Outside, very faintly, Kaelin hears something from the street below. Not a voice. A sound like stone on stone, dragged slowly, thoughtfully, somewhere toward the east side of town. Oh, that's where the well is. The chair holds, the door remains shut. The room feels very aware she's awake. Kaelin Ironhart kneels in the lamp. Oh, might scroll down. Kneels in lamplight with a charm, a warning, and a town that has learned the wrong way to listen. What do we next? Do we call it a night, or do we do something else? And by the way, good thing to check under the bed. I don't know. Is it? I mean, it makes sense. And it's a good thing that we found the note, because it's how it says, like, do not answer if it knows your name. I would be the type of person, if it says my name, to answer. Like, I would be that. So we do need to keep, or we don't keep it in mind, but old mouth. Yeah, could be right. Could be a thing that represents a well. I'm not really knowledgeable on that kind of stuff, so. And it said a sound like stone on stone dragged slowly somewhere toward the east side of town. Honestly, I don't think we'll be able to see it if we're just out on the road. I don't know. Or would you like? I have no clue what we're facing. Like, sounds like. Would you? Because we also have the scratch marks on the shutters on the inside. Would you investigate those before we go to bed, or do we investigate them in the morning? Because it could be that it's man-made, human-made, or it could be that it's something else. Or it's just, you know, not really a helpful thing. Okay. Let's hope that I throw well, because otherwise it's gonna suck. I go to the window shutters. And investigate the marks. Kaelin moves to the window, sword still in hand, and studies the scratches on the inside of the shutters. The intent is clear, not just noticing them, but trying to understand how, why, and by whom they were made. I'll do an investigation check. That's a 10. I need to find like a thing to roll in, because I roll so far on my desk. The shutters creak softly as Kaelin runs her fingers along the marks. They are not random. The scratches aren't deep enough to be made by a blade. Not claws either. Too uneven. Too human. Fingernails. Someone pressed hard, panicked, scraping outward, not in. The wood is worn smooth at the ends of the marks, where whoever did it kept dragging their hands back to the same spot. Right where the shutter doesn't open fully. There's a narrow gap between the shutter and the frame, not enough to climb through, just enough to look out. Just enough to listen. Kaelin peers through the gap now. The streets below is dim, lanterns casting long, stretched shadows. Rain slicks the ground into mirrors that don't always agree with what's above them. Nothing moves. Then something does. At the far end of the street, near where the road bends toward the east fence, a shadow shifts where no one is walking. It drags, slow and deliberate, like something heavy being pulled across stone. Oh, no shape, no body, just movement without a source. It stops. For a breath, Kaelin has the unsettling impression that whatever it is has stopped because she did. Then it moves again, slipping out of lantern light and vanishing into deeper dark. The shutters feel very thin now. Kaelin Ironhart stands in a barricaded room, sword in hand, watching a town that may be watched back. Night is no longer quiet. What does she do next? I've made earplugs? I mean, we're not hearing noises. So it's not a human, right? Movement without a source. No shape, no body. So it's gonna be something. I don't. We'll have to see. Reminder. How did I ask it before? Because there's a specific rule how I can ask things. And otherwise it will not respond. Let's see. Remind me. Okay, remind me. Remind me. Do I have a candle? Candle. Or is there one? Yes, there is a candle in the room. A single stub set in a cheap iron holder on the washstand. It's already been lit earlier tonight and burned down a bit. Not new, not ceremonial, just practical light for people who don't like the dark deciding things for them. It gives enough glow to see the room clearly, but it's also throws shadows that move when nothing else does. You do not currently have a separate candle on you unless you say otherwise. This one belongs to the room. Okay. Okay, let's see. Alright, take the wax. Right, ear plugs to sleep properly. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. If it's gonna call us, you mean? No. True, we'll see what happens. Kaelin moves with quiet practicality. She pinches the candle's softened wax, rolling it between scarred fingers. Wow, okay. Until it's pliable enough to a shape. Crude earplugs. Not comfortable, effective. The kind soldiers make when they learn to sleep. That sleep is sometimes a weapon. The candle still burns, smaller now. Its flame steady but diminished. Enough light left to see, not enough to invite attention. Ooh, that's also a good thing. She presses the wax gently into her ears. The world dulls. The tavern below becomes a suggestion instead of a sound. The rain fades into a distant memory. Even the house settling around her loses its voice. What remains is her breath. The weight of the sword within reach. the chair braced under the door like a loyal accomplice. If something speaks her name tonight, she will not hear it. Good one, Grimmy. Kaelin lies back on the bed, muscles coiled even in rest, the way people sleep when they expect tomorrow to argue with them. Outside, Brindlewatch continues whatever it's doing when it thinks no one is listening. For now, the night passes, muted. When you're ready, tell me if Kaelin sleeps, keeps watch, or does something else before dawn. I mean, I think it's the smartest move to sleep, right? If we're gonna, you know, investigate stuff tomorrow. Ooh, hold on. I need to sit differently. Oh damn, I'm already live for more than an hour. That went fast. Okay, we sleep. I go to sleep. Kaelin lies back, wax dulling the world, sword close enough to argue on her behalf. Sleep takes her the way it takes veterans, not gently, efficiently. The night moves on without her participation. Lanterns gutter and go dark one by one. Rain eases into a mist that clings to wood and stone. Somewhere toward the east fence, something finishes whatever it was dragging and decides it's done for now. No voice reaches her ears. No name slips past the wax. The barricade holds. The room does not open itself. She dreams anyway. Not images, not memories, just the pressure. Like standing too close to a deep well and feeling the air grow cold around your ankles. Then morning arrives, rude and unapologetic. Light pushes through the stutter gap. The tavern below wakes up in pieces. Footsteps, a cough, someone swearing at a kettle. Kaelin wakes with the familiar clarity of someone who survived the night and is mildly annoyed about it. Nothing has moved. The chair is still wedged. The door is still locked. The charm and the note where she left them. Brindlewatch did not forget her while she slept. It is morning. What do we do next? We do need to think about taking the note and the charm with us. Would be stupid to leave those behind. But I need a drink. Just talking that much is, feel it in my voice. Honestly, I think we've seen as much as we can see in the room. I think like what Oracle said earlier, to go check out the blacksmith. Yes. Hold on, let me put my bottle away. Okay. So, shoot, not in front of my screen, tattoo. Put it here. Okay. So, I take the notes and charm and tuck it away in my pouch before heading downstairs, because we've seen anything in the room anyway, so we'll see. Let's see what happens. Kaelin rises, joins giving their quiet commentary, and gathers what the night offered. The note folds small and disappears into her pouch. The wooden charm, cracked cup, and all follows. It feels warmer than it should. Not hot, just aware it's being carried. Oh. If it's... Hold on. When you leave the room... Oh. That is it. I wouldn't even think of it. Okay, hold up. Where was I? Oh, I have to put it in this one because it's already going downstairs. Hold on. I'll edit it in there. Stairs. When leaving the room, I use the wax to tape the hair across the frame and door to the room while I'm away. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. That there. Away and head downstairs. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what it says. That's a good one, Grimmy. Kaelin moves with the quiet efficiency of someone who expects the world to lie to her. She folds the note carefully, all smoothed paper whispering once before disappearing into her pouch. A small wooden charm follows, its cracked cup warm from the room, heavier than it should be, for a thing meant for children and warnings. Before leaving, she works the last of the candle wax between her fingers, a thin line, just enough tack. She presses a single hair across the doorframe and the edge of the door, delicate as a promise no one ever intends to keep. Crude, clever, honest. If someone opens this door, the room will tell her. She removes the chair, turns the key, and steps out into the hallway. The air smells different in daylight. Less fear, more regret. The building creaks like it's stretching after a night it didn't enjoy. Downstairs, the cindering cup is waking up. Mugs clink, bread is torn apart with optimism. The barkeep is already arguing with day, winning on points. A few patrons glance up as Kaelin descends the stairs. Not suspicion, recognition. Really? I didn't even know, but then again, I just don't really watch that many movies or series where it could happen. And Max Kling. Oh, I read that part, right. Someone who stayed the night, someone who didn't leave screaming. The barkeep meets her eyes from behind the bar. You sleep? She asks, already knowing the answer isn't simple. Morning light spills in through the door as it opens for another customer. Outside, Brindlewatch looks almost normal, almost convincing. But the east fence still exists. The old well still waits. And Kaelin now carries proof that the town has been whispering to itself for a while. She stands at the foot of the stairs, geared, awake, and watched in the way daylight pretends it doesn't do. What do we do next? Oh, really? I think I've only seen like one James Bond movie in my life, so... But it'll be a trick that I'll remember. So the barkeep asked us if we sleep, or if we slept. Should we answer her, or do we just walk out and head towards the blacksmith? Yeah. Okay. What would you answer? Are we gonna be truthful to her, or are we gonna lie? Because, I mean, in the end, it's not that it's like a... let's say a human trafficking thing or whatever, where you have to consider that people are involved in it. If it's, let's say, a curse or a haunting, I don't think people are involved. I don't know if we have to lie. Might be an option, but... I will look at her Okay, the night was quiet and sleep did its job. I answer nicely. The night was quiet and sleep did its job. The barkeep studies Kaelin for half a breath longer than polite conversations requires. Then she nods. Good, she says. Like that's the correct outcome and not something that occasionally disappoints her. Means the town behaved itself, for once. She slides a mug across the bar. Water this time. Clean. No charge. Ooh, free. Smiled kindness that pretends it isn't one. A few folk didn't sleep, she adds, casual as weather. No screams, no broken doors, just that look people get when they spend all night listening for something that never quite arrives. Morning has fully claimed the tavern now. Dice are replaced with bread. Last night's bravery has turned into headache remedies. Someone by the door is already telling a story that gets less impressive with every telling. Outside, the rain has eased into a damp hush. Clouds still loom, but the world has decided not to drown anyone just yet. From here, Kaelin has clear options, whether she names them or not. The old well near the east fence, where the night left its fingerprints. The smithy, already awake, hammer ringing with too much force for this early. Staying here a moment longer, letting Brindlewatch talk when it thinks she isn't listening. The day is young, the town is not. Kaelin Ironhart stands at the start of it. Rested, armed, and carrying a warning meant for people who answer voices they shouldn't. What do we do next? Okay, Fred, I appreciate it. And hey, good to see you. Breakfast? Okay. Would you like take the breakfast at the bar near the barkeep, or would you sit somewhere else? Because I don't know. Does it say if we have people? Oh. It doesn't really say how, like, there's somebody at the door telling a story. We can have breakfast and then sit close towards the door and listen in to what that guy is saying, but she wanted to talk. True. I mean, she gave us free water, so okay, we'll sit at the bar and we'll order breakfast and see if she says anything. I sit at the bar and order some breakfast while I ask. Let's see. Oh, we can ask more about the few folk that didn't sleep. What happened to people that couldn't sleep? I mean, they say noises, but God knows what she says, right? Kaelin settles onto a bar stool and orders breakfast. Voice calm, posture relaxed in the way that keeps every option open. Then she asks the question that matters. This is an interaction meant to gain information. Persuasion, okay. Damn it, 5. This is not gonna be good. She doesn't clam up. She also doesn't volunteer much. Nothing dramatic, she says, which in towns like this means nothing dramatic yet. They came down early, drank water, stared at the door like it might apologize. She flips something that smells better than the answer. No wounds, no voices, no running through the streets half naked screaming about wells or ghosts. Okay. A pause, which is almost worse, means whatever bothered them didn't need to be loud. She slides a plate toward Kaelin. Bread, eggs, something cured and salty. Solid food for solid problems. A couple folks said they felt watched, she adds quieter. One swore they heard stones grinding somewhere east. But only when they stopped moving. Okay, we heard the same thing. She shrugs, wiping her hands. Fear's contagious. So is imagination. Hard to tell which bites first. The tavern door opens. A gust of cool, damp air slips in, carrying the smell of wet earth and old iron. Morning presses on, pretending it's just another day. Kaelin eats, listens, and watches Brindlewatch try very hard to look innocent. What do we do next? So we heard the sound. So it's not imagination, unless we are affected by something that we are not aware of. Could also be. So it says like stones grinding near the east. But only when they stop moving. I think it's funny how it says, no running through the streets half naked, screaming about wells and ghosts. The fact that she came up with that means it happened. Somehow, but... or at some point. If it's on the way to the blacksmith... Wait, I can ask. Remind me if the place where the noise was heard is on the way to the blacksmith. Yes, roughly. The smithy sits closer to the center of Brindlewatch, but the main road curves east as it passes it. The path that leads toward the east fence and Old Well branches off not long after the forge. So if Kaelin heads for the blacksmith first, she'll be walking through the stretch of town where the loud metallic noises have been most frequent. People report tools slipping and tampers flaring, and then the road naturally draws you closer to the east side. So it's the same spine of the town, different ribs. You won't be going out of your way, and if something wants to be noticed, the road gives it opportunities. So then we can go to the blacksmith first, and then keep an eye on the road while we go up to the blacksmith, and then we'll follow along and see to where that the the sounds of the dragging stones and things are seen. I think that's the best thing to do. Most likely towards the well, but perhaps all the hauntings are on the east side of town, so might want to... Oh, okay. So you want to go for the east side first? Okay, we'll do that. I get up and head towards the east side of town. Oh yeah, true, because otherwise they might disappear. Side of town to investigate the area where... True. Good one, Oracle. Good one. Is where the sounds were heard for potential markings. Potential marks. Kaelin rises, leaves the last of breakfast behind, and heads toward the east side of Brindlewatch, boots finding the familiar rhythm of someone who expects the ground to answer back. Her intent is clear: to investigate the area where the sounds were heard, looking for marks, disturbances, or physical signs of whatever made stone grind against stone in the night. This is a deliberate investigation of the environment with the goal of uncovering hidden or overlooked evidence. An investigation check. Come on. Oh, damn. A 4. Sorry, Oracle. This might not be a good one. Okay. The east side of Brindlewatch does not reward optimism. Kaelin moves along the road as it bends towards the fence, eyes scanning mud, stone, walls, cart ruts. She checks for gouges, drag marks, chipped cobble, anything that would confess to last night's sound. The rain has been thorough. Whatever ground there was to read has been smeared smooth, mud refilled, stones washed clean. Cart tracks overlap until they mean nothing. If something heavy was dragged here, the weather either hid it very well or finished the job for it. What she does notice instead is absence. People keep their distance from this stretch of road. Shutters are closed on houses that should be airing out. A dropped horseshoe lays untouched near a fence post. No one wanted to bend down for it. Near the fork where the road would take her further east toward the old well, Kaelin feels it again. That pressure, that sense of attention. Not a direction, not a presence she can point to. Just the feeling that this area has been considered recently. No marks, no proof, no satisfaction. Whatever caused the sound either left lightly or didn't need to touch the ground the way she expects things to. The road offers two honest continuations now. Follow it further east towards the old well, where fear has a name. Turn back slightly toward the smithy, where metal keeps failing and frustration is loud enough to bruise. The town watches her choose, pretending it isn't. What do we do next? Yeah. I mean, so it's very obvious that this is like a scary place, right? People keep their distance, shutters are closed, a dropped horseshoe that apparently nobody picks up. Blacksmith? Okay. A blacksmith it is. Decide to travel towards the blacksmith. Oh, the smithy. Hold on. I can say blacksmith. Kaelin turns back toward the heart of Brindlewatch, boots carrying her along the familiar spine of the town toward the smithy. The sounds find her before the building does. Clang, clang, clang. Too hard, too fast. Each hammer strike lands like the metal personally offended the man holding it. The smithy squats beside the road. Stone walls blackened with years of honest fire. Smoke coils from the chimney, thicker than it should be for this hour. The forge glows bright inside, heat bleeding out through the open doors in shimmering waves. A few townsfolk hurry past, giving it a wide berth. One mutters, "He's at it again," under their breath like it's a weather pattern. Inside, the smith is visible through the open doorway. Broad, muscular, sleeves rolled high, sweat slicking his arms despite the morning chill. His hammer rises and falls in the rhythm that's almost angry. The piece on the anvil isn't anything obvious, just a slab of metal being punished into submission. The cracked cart axle lies abandoned against the wall. Bent nails litter the floor like casualties. The smith hasn't noticed Kaelin yet, or he has and doesn't care. The heat presses close. The forge roars. Metal rings sharp and loud enough to make thinking uncomfortable. If Kaelin wants answers here, she'll need to either announce herself over the noise, get close enough to be noticed, or watch a moment longer to see what breaks next. No dice are required yet. No action has been taken. The forge waits. What does Kaelin do next? True. And I know that, like, they mentioned the blacksmith being angry and being affected, so might be good to get information first. You're right. Like, if I would have to decide, I would not go close enough to be noticed, because the guy is clearly angry and holding a hammer. So, I don't know. I think it would be putting myself into a possible getting like swung at, depending on how pissed off he is. And seeing that I've been rolling pretty bad, might not be a good one if we end up in some sort of battle. I don't know. I mean, we can wait and see what breaks, but then again, how long are we gonna wait? Oh, okay. That might be a good way. Because I don't want to, like, yell either, because then we might startle him and God knows what he does. That might be a good thing. Hold on, let me... I look around at his wares until he notices me. Kaelin stays just inside the edge of the forge heat and looks around, eyes moving over tools, weapons, half-finished work. She's not touching anything, not interrupting, just observing with intent until the smith notices her. That counts as an investigation through observation. You're actively looking for signs, patterns, things that don't belong. Okay. Investigation check. Oh, hello. 19. Better be something good. The hammer misses. Not by much. Just enough. The die says 19 and the forge answers. As Kaelin eyes sweep the smithy, patterns emerge fast and sharp. Too fast to be coincidence. Several finished tools are warped. Not from poor craft, but from being struck again after cooling. Intentional damage. A rack of horseshoes shows one missing from every pair. Always the left. Consistent, deliberate. Near the forge, scattered in the ash, are small stone chips. Not from the wall, not from the anvil. They're smooth, rounded, like they broke off something that wasn't meant to be struck by a hammer. Then the smith's grip slips. Clang. The hammer skids off the metal and bites into the anvil edge instead. Sparks jump. The sound is wrong. Too sharp. The smith freezes, chest heaving. For a heartbeat, his eyes lock onto the space just beside Kaelin, not at her. Then he blinks. Focus snaps back. He turns, finally noticing her. What? He snaps. And seeing her properly, he exhales hard. Chops open. If you're buying, say so. If not, he gestures vaguely with the hammer. Mind the heat. Behind him, the forge pops. A stone chip cracks in half without being touched. Oh, Lord. The air feels tight here, like the smithy is being watched more closely than the rest of town. Kaelin has his attention now. What do we do? Oh, so it's always the left one missing of the horseshoes. The location where we were just now, well, before we came here, there was a horseshoe laying that nobody wanted to touch. I bet it's gonna be one of the missing the left ones. If it's linked to that one, whatever it is. So we have a few things, patterns. Tools are warped. Missing horseshoes, all the left ones. Small stone chips that are too smooth and rounded and seem to be broken off of something that wasn't meant to be struck by a hammer. So I don't know, what could be something that isn't meant to be struck by a hammer though? Like if it's stone, yeah. And so far the smith is impacted more than everyone else. So it could also be that it has something to do with him. That iron ain't their thing. Yeah. But is there like some kind of elemental or something? Because I'm Oracle, I'm not knowledged in monsters in the D&D area, like world, realm, whatever you want to call it. Is there something that is like that can impact like one person like this, where tools are purposely damaged, that they're like basically small stone chips laying around? Like, I don't know, it doesn't make sense. Like something that needs half of horseshoes? I don't know. This is interesting. Good one. I mean, I can ask him, or we can investigate. Well, we haven't been to the well, right? So we cannot... I don't think we can determine it. Or can... Well, what should we do? Should we just investigate it? Or should we ask the smith if it's... where the water comes from? Because I don't know... Like, can we investigate something that we... Because we don't know how the water is from the well? Can we investigate something like that without even having the knowledge? We could ask, yeah. I think that's the safest thing. I turn towards the smith and ask, the water you use to... The water you use to cool down your weapons, does it come from the well? We'll see what he says. Question mark. Oh, okay. ChatGPT needed a little bit longer to think about that one. Kaelin turns to the smith and asks the question plainly, right over the hiss of the forge. The water you use to cool your weapons, does it come from the well? This is a direct attempt to gain specific, potentially hidden information tied to the environment. The forge freezes on the edge of an answer. Hammer mid-lift, sparks half fallen, the smith mouth just starting to open. We need to do a persuasion check. Okay. Shit. That's a bad one. A 2. Okay. The smith laughs. It's short, sharp, humorless. No, he snaps immediately. Too fast. Defensive like a door slammed before you could check who's knocking. Haven't used a cursed hole in years. He turns back to the forge, shoving the metal into a barrel of water beside him. It hisses violently. Steam blooms, thick and choking. Then he freezes. Because the water does something it shouldn't. Oh, shoot. For half a heartbeat, the steam doesn't rise. It curls inward, spiraling down toward the barrel like it's being pulled. The smith yanks the metal out with a curse and steps back, nearly stumbling. I use rainwater, he mutters, louder now, like volume can make it true. Collected, clean, nothing wrong with it. He won't look at the barrel. His knuckles are white around the thongs. I don't know what's happening, he growls, more tired than angry now. But if you're here to tell me it's my fault, you can leave. Another crack echoes through the forge as the stone chip splits clean in two on the floor. Unstruck, unmoved. The smithy feels focused, like this place is being leaned on harder than most. Kaelin stands in heat and smoke with a man who's lying badly, water that behaves incorrectly, and a well that keeps coming up whether people want it to or not. No combat yet, but the tension has teeth. What do we do next? So, he's clearly lying. I think even though we rolled bad, rainwater shouldn't act this way. I think it's gonna be linked to the well. It has to be. Because and to my common sense, he reacted way too defensively. Like, way too quick. Like, he didn't even think. So the only thing is, should we investigate the barrel before I don't know if he will let us, but I am tempted to investigate the barrel where the water is currently curling inward. He apparently isn't looking at the barrel. Could also be that he doesn't know. True. I mean, we can investigate the barrel and like the areas like around the barrel to see if something is like, let's say, there might be a bucket or some marks that somebody else did it. Because it might also help us out when we go to the well, I think. If it like, let's say this water curls inward and it does it in the well, then we know later on if it's linked or not, but I think it would be stupid not to investigate the barrel. I go towards barrel. Investigate the area around it and the barrel itself. Wow, I really need to learn how to type properly. See, someone else brought in water or other noticeable marks. Well, I'll ask. I'll do the reminder thing. Noticeable. Brought. Remind me, how long is the smith being affected by this unnatural force? From what you've learned so far, weeks, not years, not always. This is reason enough that people still argue about it instead of accepting it. Especially for the smith. The guard said the smithy has been the loudest lately, not the longest. The barkeep implied that the problems escalated over the last couple of weeks. The serving girl mentioned tools slipping and tempers fraying in places where people are already exhausted. The smith fits the pattern perfectly. The damage you saw in the forge looks progressive, not ancient. Reworked tools, recently cracked stone, fresh frustration. So the timeline looks like this. The town started feeling off a few weeks ago. Minor things first, missing items, small noises, sleepless nights. The smith's works began failing after that, and it's been getting worse, not stable. Whatever this is, it hasn't owned Brindlewatch long. it's still learning how to press. So I mean, something must have happened a couple of weeks ago to trigger this, right? If it was fine before. Okay, will do the remind thing. Remind me if something of importance happened in the last month that could explain the beginning of all of this. Important. Yes, something did happen. Not loudly, not heroically, but it lines up far too neatly to ignore. About a month ago, Brindlewatch did 3 things at once, and none of them felt important at the time. Here's what the town remembers when pressed. The east fence was repaired after a partial collapse. Old posts were pulled up, new ones driven in. The work went deeper than planned because the ground there was unstable. During that work, the old well was officially sealed. Not filled, not destroyed, just capped and marked unsafe. The council didn't want to pay for a full removal. Shortly after, a trader caravan passed through, stayed only one night and left before dawn. No trouble, no records kept. Too ordinary to note. And then, a week or so later, things began to slip. No one connects these events openly because each one feels small. Maintenance, safety, commerce. But taken together, they all involve one thing the town stopped respecting for convenience. The old well. Not as a water source, as a boundary. Whatever began a few weeks ago didn't arrive from outside with banners flying. It started when something that was meant to stay ignored was disturbed, sealed poorly, or remembered by the wrong thing. Kaelin Ironhart now stands with a working timeline, a pressured smith, and a mystery that began the moment Brindlewatch decided it was done listening. So, the well is the source. Oh, well. Or, what did it say? New posts were put in and went deeper than planned. Could have been maybe triggered something underneath the well. But, I mean, if we're seeing this, the well is the cause, right? True. So, we need to look for a shop then. But do you want me to investigate the barrel with the water before we leave the smith? Or just head towards a shop and buy rope and light sources and supplies and clean water? Can have a look around his draining system for rainwater. Okay. We can do that. I look at his draining okay, I'll ask. Remind me. Does the smith have... Was the smith... Is the smith married? If so... She missing... So, did he or she disappear? Or any other family member? What are you thinking of, Grimmy? Do you have like an idea? Any other family member? Okay. Yes, the smith is married, and no one disappeared. Which is part of why this has been allowed to fester. Here's what Brindlewatch knows in pieces. The smith's wife, Elira, is still in town, runs a small mending and cloth dye business a few doors down from the forge. She has not vanished, but she has changed. She sleeps poorly, she stopped working late evenings, she refuses to go anywhere near the East Fens. They have no children, no missing relatives to turn to turn this into a neat tragedy. People noticed the smith's temper before they noticed Elira's fear. Elira has told neighbors she hears water sounds at night, dripping, sloshing, always just out of sync with the rain, always when her husband is still working the forge. She insists it isn't coming from the house. No one has been taken, no one has vanished, which makes this worse. Whatever is happening isn't feeding on bodies. It's feeding on attention, pressure, exhaustion. And the smith is one of its favorite places to lean. Kaelin now knows... Stupid browser. Kaelin now knows this thing does not steal people. It wears them down. Are you thinking about... what's the one game? The Smith quest in it. Banishers. Ghosts of New Eden. Is that what you're thinking of? Okay, I can ask, remind me if how long he has been the owner of the smithy. Banishers, yeah. Gods or demons. So, would you ask? Do you want me to ask it to the smith, or just walk around the street where the smith is and ask? A long time ago, long enough that people stopped thinking about it. The smith had owned and run the forge for over 20 years. Okay. He inherited it from his mentor, not his family. Took over young, worked harder than he needed to, and never left. The forge has outlasted council members, guards, even a couple of taverns that tried and failed to replace the cinder and cup. Which matters because the forge predates the sealing of the old well by decades. He's worked through droughts, floods, shortages, and bad winters without anything like this happening before. His routines are old, steady, and deeply ingrained. Oh, that might be something. So if the smithy is failing now, it isn't because the man forgot how to work. It's because something in town changed, and it chose a place of heat, pressure and repetition to show itself first. Kaelin Ironhart stands in the forge that has never betrayed its owner before until now. Okay, I'll ask. Remind me, is there a library? Is there a library in this town? Because if it's still morning, there might not be many people in the tavern. Yes, there is barely. Brindlewatch has a small records house, not a grand library. People here call it the ledger hall or the reader's room, depending on how generous they're feeling. What that means in practice, it holds old town records, land deeds, fence maps, maintenance logs, and council minutes. Ooh, that might be useful. A shelf or two of copied texts, local histories, traveler journals that were donated and never reclaimed, a few religious or folk writings. No wizard towers, no spell domes glowing ominously. This is paper, dust, and ink that smells like patience. It's kept by an elderly clerk named Haverin, who believes knowledge should be preserved, not advertised. The place is open during daylight hours only, and only when Haverin feels the town is behaving itself. Importantly, records about the old well, the east fence, and past repairs would almost certainly be there. Good. If something was sealed, kept, reassigned, or quietly marked unsafe, this is where the paperwork would be hiding. Very few people go there unless they're forced to, which makes it one of the quieter places in town. So yes, there is a library. It just doesn't want to be called one. Okay, we'll go to the library. Because I think it's smarter to go that way. I mean, we can ask at a tavern, but I don't, like, you know, like how you say, we can investigate, like, old records and ancient deals or history of of that well. Okay. I head towards a library to look at old records. Ancient deals or history. The well. Stories of travelers about the well. The fence. Okay. I also mentioned the east side fence because that also came back that people don't want to go near it, but we'll see. We'll see what it comes up with. Kaelin turns away from the heat and hammer and heads for the records house, intent clear and deliberate. To dig through old records, forgotten deals, histories of the well, and any traveler accounts tied to the east fence and well. This is a clear investigation action aimed at uncovering hidden historical information. Dice roll. D20. Investigation check. Come on, we need a good one on this. Shoot. 4. Well, we'll see how this goes. The record house smells like dusk, ink, and stubborn survival. The die gives you 4. Haverin, the elderly clerk, squints at Kaelin over half-moon spectacles as she explains what she's looking for. He listens, nods, points her toward a few shelves without comment, then returns to his desk like a man who has learned that questions often age before unanswered. Better unanswered. Oh, true. Elemental. That could be it. Oh, hold on. You might have to look for that too. Like, knowledge about, like, elementals in the area or something. Yeah, I need plus, I'm rolling on my mouse pad, so I might need to, like I said, I need a dice tray or something. Where was I? Kaelin spends the next stretch of time reading and realizing why people hate this place. What she finds is unhelpful in the way only bureaucracy can be. The old well is mentioned often, but only as infrastructure. Dates of cleaning, costs of repairs, notes like water quality declining, and recommend reduced use. The East Fence records are meticulous about wood types, cost, and labor disputes. Nothing about why the ground was unstable, only that it was. Any references to sealing the well are brief and painfully dull. Kept per council vote, no further action required. Traveler journals are worse. Most are vague, half-remembered, romantic in the wrong places. One mentions the well only to complain about the taste of the water. Another claims the east side felt cold at night, which could mean anything or nothing. No warnings, no legends, no bargains written down. If there was an ancient deal, it wasn't recorded as such. What Kaelis does notice, however, is absence. There's a gap in the records. About 50 years ago, entries about the well become sparse for nearly a decade. Not missing, just minimal. As if someone decided writing more would invite questions. Then the records resume. Practical, sanitized. Havern clears his throat from his desk. Some things, he says mildly, were once considered unneighborly to write about. He does not elaborate unless asked. Well, then we have to ask. Kaelin leaves the records house with no smoking gun, but with the uncomfortable sense that Brindlewatch has been quietly editing itself for a long time. The past isn't gone. It's just been filed poorly. What do we do next? Yeah, I do have another one. Like, I have 5. I bought, like, a set for, like, $10 and I got 5 different sets. I'll switch my D20. Well then. Okay, we went from a red one to a blue one. Let's hope that this one is kinder to me. Okay, so we can go back in and we can look for like any records on like elemental beings linked to water sounds. And we can ask Havren, wait, because that was something that he would only answer if asked about. Oh, some things were once considered unneighborly to write about. He does not elaborate unless asked. So, since there's been stuff left out or like not documented properly, we might have to ask him. And hopefully I'll roll better. Let's see. How many dice sets do you have, Oracle? I assume, like, knowing that you play D&D, or like TTRPGs that you probably have a couple. I go back into the records room, and look for records about elementals that are linked to water sounds. We'll see what that gives first before I shoot my action to talk to him. Kaelin turns back, steps deeper into the stacks, and refines her search with purpose. Elementals, water-linked entities, anything tied to sound, listening, or places where water used to be but no longer is. This is a targeted investigation into obscure lore. Oh, come on. 14. It's better. This time, the shells answer back. Not loudly, not helpfully, but enough. Kaelin finds no grand bestiary, no heroic marginalia, What she uncovers instead are cross-referenced notes, the kind scribes make when they don't want to write something directly. Tucked into the margins of old maintenance ledgers and a weathered travel account, a pattern emerges. There are mentions of water-adjacent elementals that are not creatures of rivers or rain, but of absence. They are referred to obliquely under names like Listeners Below, Stonebound Echoes, The Thirst That Hears. None of these are proper names, they are descriptions. The consistent traits. They manifest where water once flowed but was cut off or sealed. They do not flood or drown, they pressure, stress, fatigue, errors. Sound is their anchor, drips, grinding stone, voices carried where they shouldn't be. They do not speak first, they answer. One account written by a road-worn pilgrim stands out. The well was stopped, and so it began to listen harder. We were warned not to call down to it, not even in jest. When the town forgot, it learned our names instead. Another margin note, cramped and faded. Capping is not binding. Binding requires respect, offering, or removal. No rituals are written, no solutions handed over neatly. Just the truth the town once knew and then chose not to remember. These things are not summoned by spell. They are invited by neglect. Kaelin closes the ledger with care. She now knows what she may be dealing with. Not a monster that can be stabbed into silence, but something that listens and answers when spoken to. The old well waits. What do we do next? But I'm gonna keep that for next Sunday. Because my throat is, I'm feeling it, of all the reading. I will set up a specific Discord section where people can talk about what happened, what you might think, and also if you come up with things. One metal set and then roughly between 30 and 40 average die sets. Damn, that's a lot. That's cool. Yeah, I have 5 now because it was like a beginning, like, but I don't know. I'll have to play with them and see how they feel. I might like end up buying more, to be honest. But what I was saying, I'm setting up a specific section in my Discord. Feel free to join it, where you can discuss if you come up with things. If you're thinking about like what I should ask, what I should do next time. I will also be making a recap song about it so people catch up. And this is the first time that I'll be showing it publicly. I will be creating a highlight of this this session, and I will turn it into a graphic novel. It'll only be like 10 or 13 stuff, but it's like a way to catch up in a fun way for people who missed it or to get a refresh next Sunday. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that's been hanging out, everyone that's been giving their input. And I will be back Sunday, same starting time. We will continue. I will quickly do a recap before we start next time so people know what we were at, what we knew. And we will continue from there. And I will catch you all next time. Bye!
Game's not over, it just begins. Come back soon for more wild winds. Laughs and chaos, cozy nights. Tattoo plays, keeps it light. Hit that sub, don't walk away. See you next time when we play. See you next time. time when we play.